Welcome back. Our last guest today is holistic counsellor Barbara Jackson, and she'll be asking the question, do we share energy with our animals? Welcome, Barbara.
Thank you very much, Melissa. It's a pleasure to be here.
With animals, do we share energy with them, and how?
Yes, we do, Melissa. If you think of when you're out going for a walk and somebody is walking a dog and they react before they even see you. So if you're an animal person, they'll be potentially wagging their tail and trying to pull over to come and see you because they can sense that you have that affinity with animals. Whereas if somebody doesn't like animals, not all of us do, they may walk away or they might bark at the person because they're sensing that there isn't quite that alignment with them. And one of the important things to understand as well with the animals, if we think of how they're trained in the police, when they do the drug searches, or when they trained to help people in epilepsy, or people who have seizures, people who have anxiety often will have what they call a therapy animal. One of the most amazing that I find is what we call seeing eye dogs. So people who have vision impairments or are completely blind, they will have a dog, and that dog can read the person so well because they're reliant on them to be their eyes. So if ever you're out and about and you see somebody with a guard dog or a seeing eye dog, it's so important not to go up and pet it because they're working. It would be like me walking up to you when you're working and wanting to distract you. So it's really about understanding and respecting the animals. So when we walk up to an animal, it's also important to understand how we interact because again, the animal will sense us before we may even be close to them. They're aware, they pick up on our energy, on our vibrations, on even the hormones. And so if we walk up to an animal, especially a dog, first of all, it would be like me saying, can I give you a hug? So we would say, if the animal is with someone, may I say hello? Then the other thing that people don't know, if I walk up like this to you, that could feel threatening because that could be, I might want to smack you. If we walk up with the hand like this and we stop close to the animal, let them come to us, we're not threatening them. So respecting their space as well. If we walk up to them, very calmly stroke them and say hello, they will settle, they will pick up on that energy like, oh, this is a nice calm person. I can just sit down and let them give me some love. The same as when we go up to a cat. If we walk up to a cat, we want to respect that space. We want to ask for consent and they will reciprocate. We don't know what an animal has experienced in their lives. They may have experienced trauma or abuse, so they may automatically pull away from new people. When we also look at therapy animals, we often hear about where in equine, with horse therapy particularly, people who've experienced trauma, people who have different abilities will often go to equine therapy because a horse will come to you. If people stand with their back to a horse, they'll often just walk up and gently stand behind them and wait for the person to respond. If you look at some hospitals in some countries, they will bring in animals to help people. And especially for children as well, if children grow up with animals, they understand a lot more about their behaviour. They have to be taught. They have to understand that there's a way, and adults alike, have to be taught how to treat an animal, how to honour an animal, and its space as well. So when we can connect with an animal energy therapist, they can help us to learn to soothe our animals, to let them know that it's okay to let go of all that energy of ours that they are carrying. And another thing as well is when we understand what we are experiencing and that our animals are picking up that stress, that anxiety, that feeling of low, being flat, feeling depressed, we can then support each other. So it's actually a really beneficial exchange of energy that can happen as well.
Do you think animals share the same energy as humans?
I would say they share similar energy, and of course we look at primates because our DNA is so similar. There's often videos where somebody will take a baby to the zoo and sit next to the glass, and the female may come up or the male may come up and they'll want to try and touch them, or go to the aquarium and the dolphins will mimic people's behaviours. So animals are so much more in tune with us than we realise.
Do you have a personal experience where you shared energy with an animal?
Melissa, I do. I went with a beautiful group of women in 2019 up to Hervey Bay, and we wanted to connect with the humpback whales. And we went out on a catamaran. And the legal requirements are that you stay 100 metres away from them. And these 3 humpback whales came around the boat, and there was our group and the public as well. And they were actually going around and looking at everybody on the catamaran. That was the highlight. They then went away, and our captain said, if anybody wants to get into the water, do it now. And we're in the ocean, so we had to hold on to what they called a mermaid line. And we had to get in very quietly because they are so sensitive to the sonic frequencies in the water. Slipping in, there were 2 of us holding on. They came back and they were coming up behind us and going under us. And this beautiful female, she would have been about 11 metres, they said, and about 30 tonne. She came under me and she then bared her belly. Any creature will only bare its belly when it feels safe. She then reached her 3-metre pectoral fin up and touched my hand, which was such an incredible gift because it wasn't only my experience. Everybody on that boat, on that catamaran, felt the absolute wonder of the trust of this animal.
Do you have any advice of how people can connect and share energy with animals?
Absolutely, Melissa. So there's certain ways, if we're going to buy our children a pet for Christmas, we need to remind them and teach them the responsibility and accountability for the care. And also remembering that after Christmas as well, they need the same continued care. It's like our children. They're forever around until the time until their journey is finished. And also the other thing as well is go and visit the rescue shelters. Go and spend some time with the dogs and with the cats, because they do say the animals choose us. And remembering that it's always about consent. We share the space with them, and having that mutual respect and consent is important.
Well, thank you so much for all that advice, and thanks for being on the program.
Thank you very much, Melissa.
If you'd like to know more about sharing energy with animals and Barbara, go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. That's all we've got time for today. Goodbye.